Today is August 6th, 2021, and it's been a little time since I've given an update on the status of the Murgetroid. Quite a bit of work has been done on programming. I'm not going to talk about that for the moment, but I wanted to mention that a follow-up to the powering of the Murgetroid, I did indeed have to use slip rings instead of the pillow block bearing here in order to deliver power to the Murgetroid. I used a 6-wire slip ring. Each wire is capable of supporting 2 amps of current, and I used 2 wires for the 12 volts and 2 wires for ground, giving me a total of 4 amps total at 12 volts, 48 watts, more than sufficient to be able to drive the 5 volt 5 amp supply that I've got internal to the box, which would be 25 watts. In any case, from now on I'm going to be using the slip ring because it's far more reliable, even with a farad capacitor on the input of the 12 volts using the bearings. Unfortunately, the connection just wasn't steady enough. But the slip rings have a very good connection and work quite well. So today I'm going to be talking primarily about the base of the Murgetroid. We've yet to really discuss much about it, but since I'm building a new one, which we'll talk about more, I wanted to show you where we're at today with what we have. This is the mounted slip ring. You can see that I've installed there, and I had to size make sure this length dimension on the slip ring was sufficiently small to fit within this distance. Had I cut the motor shaft slightly longer, I could have used perhaps a better slip ring. In any case, this works quite well, and I'm happy with it. Also wanted to show you the speed controller, a little bit about that, so let me focus on that. This is the motor speed controller, and it allows me to control the speed of the rotation when it's in this position, but also to have no rotation at all if I choose to put it in the middle position, or very fast rotation. In any case, this is runs off of 120 volts and drives the Fasco motor that's in the base of the Murgetroid, and we're going to take a look at the base of the Murgetroid at this moment. Before I turn the base over, I did want to point out this magnet. I hadn't talked about it before, but that magnet is used to trigger the hall sensor inside the box, and that allows me to figure out how a rotation is completed or started, and it's used for timing the text information that displays on the Murgetroid. Without that position information, my text would start and end at random rotations and be dependent on the rotation rate. But with the magnet and the hall sensor, I can synchronize the text. I'm going to turn the base over now. We can take a look at the bottom. This is the bottom of the base, and this base is a kind of a prototype base. As I mentioned, I'm building a new one. I'll show you all the parts for that. But what's important here is this is the motor, and I have a fan that I've installed here to blow constant air on the motor, because without that fan, the motor would overheat and shut down because it's got thermal protection. All these wires will be cleaned up, and the power supply will be internal to the base here once that's built, and I'll show you that when it's done. But for now, just to take a look at where we're starting from, you might notice I've got fast disconnects, and these disconnects allow me to remove the head of the Murgetroid, the rotating unit of the Murgetroid. In any case, I think that's what I want to show you for the base at the moment. These are most of the components I've be using for the new base. Once again, this is the fan that we just spoke about. I've got a power strip which is going to go internal to the base so that only one cord will come out of the base. This is another speed controller I'll be using on the base, and this is a 12 volt to rather 120 volt 12 volt power supply. And this is my motor, Murgetroid motor. I've gone through quite a few different kinds of motors here, but in any case, this is a Fasco motor, and it's I think it's 0.2 horsepower, something like that, or I forget. In any case, I'll be posting the information about it so you can purchase the right motor. But the new base also will be a completely different structure. It's going to be a hexagonal base, And the infinity cube is going to become a hexagonal structure as well. So that ought to lend quite a bit of style to the whole thing. Thanks for watching.